anti snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
What's up, everybody? My name's Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. This is a bit of a different one right here. This is a bit of some news over here that was sent in to me. This is a story that I was following at my last job at Rolling Out. And, so the lawyers, the family, the representation reached out to me with an update and a 43-page lawsuit. This is the family of Shanquella Robinson. If you guys are unfamiliar with this story, I'll share the screen right now. Pretty much around this time, either today or yesterday at the time I'm recording this, which is October 29th, 2024, 2 years ago to the day, Shanquella Robinson, unfortunately and tragically, transitioned away from this life at the age of 25 while on vacation with 6 people she considered to be quote unquote friends. It was originally reported while they were all in Mexico at a villa in Cabo that Shanquella had alcohol poisoning, and that was the cause of her transition. However, it came out later that the certificate of her passing showed that it was from her neck breaking and spinal damage. And a couple weeks later, following that news, a video leaked online of Shanquella getting beat up by one of the 6 defendants here, Daejhanae Jackson, and these 6 friends have now been called the Cabo 6. And yeah. So immediately after that happened, I think they called authorities or they told the mom that they called for medical aid, and then they kind of just left her there. One of her friends, Khalil Cooke, a dude, he apparently brought Shanquella's stuff back to America and dropped off her suitcases to her parents, and they left Shanquella's body over there in Mexico. And that is what happened. One guy has spoke out publicly throughout this entire thing. Nazeer Simmons, he's the only one to speak out publicly about it. He claimed on Facebook Live that he wasn't there at the time of the incident because he got to Cabo late to celebrate his birthday. When he got to Cabo, he said that she was just unconscious, and he thought that it was because of her consuming alcohol. He did not know about the fight or anything like that. He said because if he was there, he would have stopped the fight. That doesn't line up with the timing of obviously everything. So, people are looking at him sideways as well. And yes, apparently, I believe it was Daejhanae, Alysee, and Winter who were out at a bar in 2023 in the Charlotte area where all of them kind of live and stuff like that. And they went to school at Winston-Salem State in North Carolina. So they're all like North Carolina people. And Daejhanae recognized or approached a group of girls and said, "Are you recording us?" And she said, "No, why would we be recording y'all?" And then when she left, she asked one of her friends who was it, and they said those were some of the girls that had something to do with Shanquella's kind of tragic passing. So they went outside the club because they didn't want to deal with security. Is what they told North Carolina to beat. Shout out North Carolina to beat. And they went out and beat up those girls. So that's what they said happened. So street justice, pretty much the same thing that you kind of saw or heard of allegedly with what's been going on in Memphis with following the tragic, situation with Young Dolph as well. Just a bunch of street justice has been served in the meantime, waiting for the courts to get it. But officially, the reason why I got these emails from two different lawyers and 2 different communications people with this family, because I was one of the people to report on it a couple years ago in 2022, is because Shanquella's family, the state, has decided to sue the Cabo 6 and the FBI. Wait, hold on now. I believe the FBI. It says it right here that it sees an undersigned counsel complaining of the inactions of the Cabo 6 the United States Department of State, and the Federal Bureau for Investigation as follows. Okay, so they're suing the FBI as well. And pretty much just for their negligence of kind of handling the situation. It's been 2 years later, and none of them are arrested. None of the six are arrested. The FBI went to try to investigate it. It sounded like about a year or two ago, and they just said there was no kind of conclusive evidence to kind of go through with the investigation, even though there's a viral video that anybody with a Twitter account could see and kind of see what happened. But neither here nor there. Wiggins, going back to Wiggins, on his live, he said the reason why he left Mexico so soon is because of the entire Brittany Griner situation was going on, where Brittany Griner was in Russia and she had to be traded for an arms dealer, and that was a prisoner in America. He had to be traded for Brittany Griner to get out, and he said nobody's going to trade for us because nobody knows who we are. We're not Brittany Griner. We can't just get traded like that. We're on somebody else's soil. He said that's why he left Mexico ASAP and came back home. But they left their friend. Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. But this is pretty much the 43-page document. I got about 11 pages in, and it's pretty much just saying all of the things that we heard of, just like the mother was told one thing, oh, she had alcohol poisoning, and she need to go to the hospital, and we got paramedics coming soon, or medical attention coming soon, and that is not indeed what happened. The mother also said that their stories were just kind of different as they came back. And if you ever dealt with like younger people, kids, like, and these aren't kids, these are adults, but they're like recent college graduates at the time of this incident, 23, 25, 26 years old at the oldest. And they're all just kind of like lying to the mom, like, little kids when they get in trouble, and you ask them what happened, you ask them one by one, everybody got a different story because they're usually that means that you're guilty of something and you did something that you weren't supposed to do. Khalil Cooke is supposed to be the best friend. And Khalil, what I'm saying, if you were there watching your best friend get beat up, I know if some of my closest female friends, if they're getting beat up, I'm at least trying to break up the fight. What I'm saying? If I get hit, if I get embarrassed, it is what it is. But I did it defending my friend and protecting my friend. You know what I mean? Especially when he says, Quella, at least fight back in the video. And she says, no. If she says no, she's not trying to fight and you got set her up, backdoored her. I think that's some whack stuff. And yeah, so this is just the mom just saying, I've experienced some bad things ever since. I don't know how these kids can even like have a conscience or anything like that, like continue to live life after that happened, especially in a small town. Because you have to think, like, Charlotte's not a small town, and Winston-Salem like isn't like necessarily small compared to other actual small towns, but it is like kind of small, what I'm saying, compared to like a LA or New York or Miami. So with that being said, with these situations, when something's a national story or international story, and even if you don't pay attention to the news, but you might have seen our name or seen the story in passing a couple years ago or something like that. The thing is with those situations, if you just seen it in passing and you have nothing to do with it and you don't watch the news, the reality of it is locally in the town where all of it stems from, it is the biggest thing on earth. And like it's crazy. So it's like the things that don't seem like just like a little hit on the news that's 30 seconds a minute or whatever, and people are following and you might have seen the name once or twice in that actual city, in that actual town, it's like the biggest news ever, especially in a town that's not like in New York, or LA, or Miami, or Chicago, or something like that. But yeah, yeah. So here you go. Here's the count one that they're suing. Wrongful. You can read the word. Count two is simple battery against Daejhanae. That's the girl that was beating her up in the video. Count three is against Cabo 6 for their negligence and kind of handling of the situation. Count four is conspiracy, pretty much tampering with the evidence and changing up their stories to protect themselves to not get in trouble coming back from Mexico. Because it's like you're doing something, you set it up. Because I don't know. I honestly, I to be honest, to be transparent, I was looking at blogs, gossip pages, news reports, old YouTube investigating deep dives or whatever to see why exactly they were even hitting Shanquella and why she was set up like that. There's a Tubi movie out there, but they say there's a lot of misinformation, so I don't even want to reference that. But I have no clue why you would set up a quote unquote friend on vacation to fight on vacation in Cabo in Mexico. Like it makes no sense. If you want to fight a friend or something like that, uh you tell the person, hey, I don't like the way you handle this. We can fight about it. Let's square up. Let's fight. Blah, 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 blah. And regardless, you don't fight your friends, period. But if it ever got to that point where someone did something so egregious, you don't wait till you get to a place of paradise, a place that's known for relaxing, and you guys are there to celebrate birthdays to, you know what I'm saying, to jump somebody. You know what I mean? And that's what it seems like they did. They set her up, all six of them, recording it, just watching and watching her get beat up naked. She was in the nude. It's a terrible video and stuff like that, and it's just really sad. It was just sick. It's honestly sick, to be honest. But yes. Oh, yeah, I say all that to say I don't know why they were fighting her for. Like a lot of people said jealousy. I don't know if it was just jealous. I don't know. But regardless, there shouldn't be something like that. There shouldn't be something like that happening, period. Like regardless of what it does. If it was the worst thing, if it was the worst possible thing that you could think of that a friend did morally to another friend, that doesn't, you know, justify you jumping the person that you once considered a friend on vacation while they were in the nude, embarrassing them with other five friends recording it and just kind of sitting by watching it happen. I don't know. There's nothing that justifies that. Here we go. Negligent infliction on emotional distress. So it's pretty much just saying like the mom has experienced depression and other serious mental health issues ever since the video's gone viral and just losing her daughter in general. I think Shanquella would have been like 27 as of right now, and she's turning 28 in January. So she's been gone for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Very, very young girl. Not even 30 if she was still living. Negligence on the Department of State and negligence on the FBI. So yes, here we go. Let me see. Let me see. The FBI has the authority. The FBI has the authority and the non-discretionary duty to investigate of American citizens that occur overseas. The FBI advised Miss Robinson, the mama, that the investigation into her would be commenced. This investigation was closed a few months later. The mother of the deceased, the FBI owed a duty to thoroughly investigate. Man, crazy. Investigate, maintain personal property in good condition, and inform the mother the status of the investigation. The FBI breached the duty of failing to respond to the investigation with the appropriate seriousness and urgency. The unreasonable delay to investigate mishandling the evidence led to erosion and destruction to evidence. If the FBI had complied with its duties and statute to investigate, critical evidence would have been preserved. Due to the FBI's delays, the quality of the second autopsy completed by the United States authorities was compromised as Shanquella's body had been altered by embalming chemicals, decomposition, and the effects being subject to a full autopsy by Mexican authorities. At all times, at all time material hereto, the FBI was aware that the members of the Cabo Six were persons of interest in the of Shanquella Robinson. The Mexican authorities have maintained that Shanquella Robinson was, by the dislocation of vertebrae in her neck caused by the barrage of punches from defendant Daejhanae. Uh, excuse me. The FBI's incomplete investigation directly and approximately caused the damages suffered by Miss Robinson and the estate of Shanquella Robinson. Notably, the FBI's inaction has impeded Miss Robinson and her family's ability to receive closure and justice from the criminal prosecution of Shanquella Robinson's. As a result, they're suing. So they're suing pretty much everybody for like 25,000 as well. That's another thing. Count 9, the failure to promptly release records, and the prayer for relief. They're asking for 25,000, like I said, from everybody. And there it is. So here's all the paperwork and things of that sort, as you guys can see. What was one thing I wanted to say? Oh, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving donated $65,000 to this cause a couple of years ago, helping the family out with homegoing arrangements and just the family pressing through at a time like this. You can imagine the family probably, especially the mom and dad, like probably couldn't work anymore. You know what I'm saying? When the dad's still going to work, according to some old interviews. And I'm like, how do you even go back to work when you're kind of trying to battle something like this? I imagine you spend all your time, attention, and money into this, fighting this, lawyer fees, all of these things. You know what I'm saying? You don't have time to just punch into the clock like nothing changed. So shout out to Kyrie Irving. I say all that shit. Shout out Kyrie. Excuse me. Oh, here's the video of the fight. Screenshots of the video of the fight. Yeah, that's 43 pages. So man, tough stuff. Just continue prayers for the Robinson family, and thank you to the Robinson family and their representation for looking 2 years back to a story and a thing that I was covering back then, finding my email and sending it to me today with an update to keep her name in the headlines and for us to remember to say her name, Shanquella Robinson, to keep this, because as soon as it slips people's minds, that's when I think the FBI and the authorities and everybody thinks that it would be okay to, you know what I'm saying, just no longer pursue to a certain level. So thank you to the family for sending this to me, and you guys continue to, I don't know, keep everyone involved like in prayer, man. And to those kids, man, it's been 2 years now. I know y'all think about it all the time, but especially around this time of year. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, gotta hold yourselves accountable at some point, you know what I mean? Can't run away forever. As you guys have learned in these past 2 years, you can't run away from ever. You gotta be whole. There's consequences for every action. There's a cause and effect for everything. So, you know, you feel me? All right, until next time, my name is Rashad Milligan. As always, this is the Road 5K Subs. Please take care of yourselves, please, and be safe.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.